When you join the gym community, there are 3 major lifts that you need to conquer to become a certified gym bro or gym girl. The first lift is a deadlift. You need to be lifting 180 kilos off the floor to be proven that your strength is nothing to be messed with. Plus, having a big deadlift is cool as. Next up is the squat. You want to be hitting 140 to be proven to the gym that your leg strength means business. Lastly, and the most important one, is a 100 kilo bench press. This is exactly what you want to be working towards if you want to become an absolutely certified gym bro. And I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. When I first started working out when I was 16, the 100 kilo bench was a monumental milestone that I wanted to reach, and to be honest, majority of my training was based around hitting this goal. Now that I'm 23, my attitude has changed. Now I still find a 100 kilo bench press very impressive, and so should you, but I'm going to teach you some valuable skills that you can apply to your training even if you're a beginner or an advanced lifter. So here are my 4 tips on how to improve your bench press so you can achieve the big numbers that you want to. Now my first tip is don't bench. Wait a minute, let me explain. You're probably going into every single session repping out as much weight as physically possible, because I know I did when I was that age. But doing this can be counterintuitive. You need to strip back that weight and focus on the technique, and that is my first tip, technique. Here are a few simple techniques that I use to make sure that I'm hitting the right cues when lifting. As always, with getting a strong base, you start from the ground upwards. Make sure that you plant your feet when you're on the bench press. Secondly, your hand placement. Make sure that it's a comfortable width on the bar. I've experimented with lots of different grips when bench pressing over the years, but I found the most effective for me is having my pinky finger just on the knurling of the bar. This is the right width for me, as I feel as I can engage my chest and triceps effectively. Just with this tip alone, I bet that you could put on an extra 10-15 kilos on top of your bench press. My second technique is frequency. I changed bench pressing from once a week to twice a week, and that's how I skyrocketed my numbers. Following this technique of training twice a week on bench press, I've been able to get my bench press all the way up from 80 kilos to 120. I'm now hoping to reach 140 kilos in the next couple of weeks, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. I'll put a simple workout on this screen just here, so you can base your 2 bench sessions off of this. Following these workouts will be able to improve your technique and strength in the bench press. Now my third tip is volume. I found this really confusing when I first started applying this into my training. The idea behind it is that you need to be hitting 10 to 12 heavy working sets a week. Now whether a training week for you is 5 days, 7 days or 10 days, the idea behind it is that in that time period you are hitting a certain amount of heavy working sets on the bench press. Now I do this by dividing those heavy working sets between the workouts. So my working week is 7 days and I bench twice a week. So I make sure that in those sessions I hit at least 6 heavy working sets in each session. This ensures that by the end of my training week, I've hit the threshold of the volume that I need to hit to be able to improve on the bench press. Now just remember, a heavy set to you is different to what it is to someone else. For some people, a heavy set is 40 kilos, for others it's 20, and for some people, like the Gym Reaper, it's probably 200 kilos. But you just need to strip back that ego and focus on what is going to help you improve your bench press. Stripping back your ego brings me to my final point, and this is definitely the most important if you really want to hit that goal of benching 100 kilos. I would advise gaining a little bit of weight. Now, you don't have to become massively overweight or put on lots of fat, but you definitely need to put on some muscle mass if you want to bench 100 kilos. It's going to be very difficult if you currently weigh 60 kilos to bench 100 kilos, as that's 40 kilos over your body weight. A well-known strength standard ratio is 1.5 times your body weight for a bench press. Now, if you're wanting to bench 100 kilos and you weigh only 60, it's going to make it far harder than if you weighed 80 kilos. To make sure you're focusing on hypertrophy, which is muscle building training, so you can put on some mass and size, and along with that, build some strength. In these tips, I've been able to progress my bench press over the years, and especially over the past 6 months. 3 months ago, I was benching 80 to 90 kilos for 1 rep, and I was finding that very challenging. However, I've started applying these principles properly and focusing on powerlifting, and I've been able to get my bench press from 90 kilos all the way up to 120. To the point where I can rep 120. I'm hoping to be able to hit 140 soon, and I'm sure I will be able to if I follow these tips. Using these tips that I've listed out, I know that you're going to be able to hit your goal of 100 kilos. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, but if you put in that work and you're consistent with your training, I know that you'll be able to do it. If you want to see if these tips are really going to work, make sure you subscribe so you can see them in action as I attempt 140 kilos in the next couple of weeks. If you made it this far into the video, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. I post weekly videos of me training in the gym as I work towards my first powerlifting meet. Right, now get after it. If you want to see more training videos, make sure you click this video just here.